On May 7, 2025, India launched a daring missile strike targeting the heart of the Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters in Bahawalpur, Pakistan. This operation, codenamed Sindoor, sent shockwaves through the region and marked a significant escalation in India's fight against terrorism. The strike was precise, aiming to dismantle the infrastructure and leadership of the notorious terrorist organization. Initial reports suggested significant damage to the JeM headquarters, with potential casualties among its ranks. The immediate aftermath of the strike was shrouded in confusion and conflicting reports. India remained tight-lipped, offering little official information about the operation's objectives or the extent of its success. Pakistan, on the other hand, vehemently denied the strike, claiming minimal damage and civilian casualties. However, eyewitness accounts and independent sources painted a different picture, hinting at a more substantial impact. The world watched with bated breath as tensions soared between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. The international community called for restraint and de-escalation, fearing a wider conflict in the volatile region. Meanwhile, both India and Pakistan mobilized their troops along the border, raising concerns of a potential military confrontation. The strike on Bahawalpur marked a turning point in the India-Pakistan conflict, with far-reaching implications for regional security and the global fight against terrorism. The operation's success hinged on the element of surprise and the accuracy of intelligence reports. India had long accused Pakistan of harboring and supporting terrorist groups like JeM, which had carried out numerous attacks on Indian soil. However, Pakistan consistently denied these allegations, maintaining that it was a victim of terrorism itself. The strike on Bahawalpur demonstrated India's resolve to take decisive action against terrorist infrastructure, even if it meant crossing borders. Central to the narrative of Operation Sindoor is Masood Azhar, the elusive leader of JeM. A figure shrouded in mystery and notoriety, Azhar has been a thorn in India's side for decades. His organization, JeM, is responsible for some of the deadliest terror attacks in India, including the 2001 Indian Parliament attack and the 2019 Pulwama attack. Despite being designated a global terrorist by the United Nations, Azhar remained largely untouchable, operating with impunity from his safe haven in Pakistan. Intelligence reports suggested that Azhar was present at the JeM headquarters in Bahawalpur at the time of the Indian missile strike. While his fate remained unknown in the immediate aftermath, rumors of his demise swirled through the media, fueled by conflicting reports from both India and Pakistan. Azhar's potential death, if confirmed, would deal a significant blow to JeM, potentially disrupting its operations and dismantling its leadership structure. However, even in death, Azhar's legacy of violence and extremism would continue to cast a long shadow over the region. His ideology, a toxic mix of religious fundamentalism and anti-India sentiment, had inspired a generation of jihadists, posing a persistent threat to peace and stability. The strike on Bahawalpur, regardless of Azhar's fate, served as a stark reminder of the enduring threat posed by JeM, and the urgent need for a concerted international effort to dismantle such terrorist organizations. The operation also highlighted the complex and often murky relationship between state actors and non-state actors in the region. India's long-standing accusations of Pakistan's support for groups like JeM gained further credence, adding another layer of complexity to the already fraught relationship between the two countries. The international community's muted response to the strike underscored the challenges of addressing state-sponsored terrorism and the need for a more robust framework to hold perpetrators accountable. The target of the Indian missile strike, Jamia Masjid Subhan Allah, was no ordinary mosque. Located in the heart of Bahawalpur, the mosque served as the operational headquarters of JeM, a breeding ground for radicalization and a launching pad for terrorist attacks. Behind its unassuming facade, the mosque housed training facilities, communication centers, and living quarters for JeM operatives. Intelligence reports indicated that the mosque was a hub of activity, with recruits from across Pakistan and even beyond its borders flocking to receive ideological indoctrination and combat training. The choice of Jamia Masjid Subhan Allah as a target was highly symbolic. It represented the nexus between religion and terrorism, a perversion of faith used to justify violence and bloodshed. By striking at the heart of JeM's infrastructure, India aimed to dismantle its network, disrupt its operations, and send a clear message that it would no longer tolerate its existence. The strike also exposed the hypocrisy of JeM, which claimed to act in the name of Islam while perpetrating acts of terror that violated the very tenets of the faith. The mosque's location in a densely populated area raised concerns about civilian casualties. While India maintained that the strike was carried out with precision, minimizing collateral damage, independent verification remained elusive. The incident highlighted the complexities of conducting surgical strikes against terrorist targets embedded within civilian areas, a dilemma faced by governments worldwide in the fight against terrorism. The strike on Jamia Masjid Subhanallah marked a departure from India's previous policy of restraint in the face of Pakistani provocations. It signaled a new era of assertive diplomacy, with India demonstrating its willingness to take decisive action to protect its national security interests. The international community's response to the strike, while urging restraint, also acknowledged India's right to self-defense, reflecting a growing recognition of the threat posed by cross-border terrorism. The aftermath of Operation Sindoor witnessed a flurry of diplomatic activity, with both India and Pakistan engaging in a war of words on the international stage. India presented evidence of JeM's involvement in previous terror attacks, seeking to garner international support for its actions. Pakistan, on the other hand, vehemently denied any involvement in the attacks, accusing India of warmongering and jeopardizing regional peace. The international community, caught in the crossfire, urged both sides to exercise restraint and engage in dialogue to de-escalate the situation. The strike on Bahawalpur brought the long-simmering tensions between India and Pakistan to a boiling point, with both countries mobilizing their troops along the border. The risk of an accidental escalation into a full-blown conflict loomed large, raising concerns of a nuclear confrontation between the two arch-rivals. The international community, acutely aware of the catastrophic consequences of such a conflict, redoubled its efforts to mediate between the two sides, urging them to find a peaceful resolution to the crisis. The long-term implications of Operation Sindoor on India-Pakistan relations remain uncertain. While the strike demonstrated India's resolve to take decisive action against terrorism emanating from Pakistani soil, it also highlighted the deep-seated mistrust and animosity that continue to plague the relationship. The incident underscored the urgent need for a sustained and structured dialogue between the two countries to address the root causes of conflict, including terrorism, Kashmir, and the water dispute. The strike also had significant geopolitical implications, potentially altering the regional balance of power. India's assertive posture signaled a shift in its strategic calculus, demonstrating its willingness to challenge the status quo and defend its interests with force if necessary. The international community's response, while measured, reflected a growing recognition of India's concerns and its right to self-defense. However, the incident also highlighted the challenges of combating cross-border terrorism and the need for a more coordinated international effort to address this global threat. Like and subscribe for more current updates